Hello, Professor. This is my assignment for the week, and I'm going to start sharing the screen. For the week 5, I'm going to present the bond value assignment. First of all, I wanted to give a little general information about bonds, what they are, what they imply, and what do they mean. Basically, a bond is a loan from an investor to a borrower. The borrower will use the money for his purposes, and the investor will receive an interest rate. It's basically an agreement between two people. Every bond has two parts that are very important to describe and to know, whether you are the investor or whether you are the borrower. The par value, which is basically the face amount, and the coupon E rate, which is going to be multiplied by the value over the time. These two factors are going to give me the price of the bond. This price of the bond can be calculated via a formula, which, as you can see in the image, is bond price equal a coupon multiplied by the payment per period, taking into account the different periods and the interest rate, and you need to add the maturity and taking into account the future value, also considering the different periods and the interest rate. Once we know this, it's possible to continue with the case asked. So, in the case, we are given two different maturity with two different bonds, right? We have a bond A with 30-year maturity and the bond B with 5 years maturity. These two bonds will have everything constant except this simple fact, which is indeed super important. Usually, different maturity levels and different maturity years means different interest rates, but this is not the case, right? So, a different maturity level means different credit rating. And if this was the case, as it is like now, the longer the duration, the higher the price of the bond. Why? More years means more variables than you can consider, because the longer the time, the long things that could happen, right? And you have more chances to suffer different changes. You have more risk. So it is perfectly common for a bond to suffer from changes as you approach the last years. So, conclusion, the longer the maturity and the longer the time you have to wait to receive the full payment, the higher the risk, the higher the price. Okay, but what else? That's not enough. There are good and there are bad moments to get into the market. That's a good thing to know, right? As shown in the graph, it's like a balance between interest rate or between the bond price. It is important to know this relationship, right? Bond market usually goes the other way around as the stock market, right? Again, going back to this graph. When the interest rates go up, it means usually that the bond prices go down. And when the interest rates go down, it means the bond prices will go up, right? So in both scenarios, both bond A and B, if the economy interest rate goes up, it means the prices will go down, right? This is super important to have it clear to be able to keep forward. So, as established before, the higher the maturity, the higher the risk. It's a riskier bond. So after I know this, it is only logical that when the interest rates goes up, the bond will have a higher impact and the bigger price will change more, right? It will be the 30 years bond. So the closer you are in the middle, the less impact you have. The longer the maturity, the more you are balanced, right? Either to go up or either to go down. A great analogy about this is it's traveling by boat. If you're in the center of the boat, the waves don't affect you that much. But if you're on the edges, you're gonna see and feel the movement way more. This is a great example to understand it. So once again, just closing up, if you're an investor, you have to have a different strategy. And we understand already what the relationship between the bond market and the stock market and the interest rate. So what's gonna be our strategy? If you expect a slowdown in the economy over the next 12 months, it means that the interest rates, you are expecting them to go down. And as we know, when the interest rates go down, the bond prices will go up. So this is the great moment to buy bonds. Sometimes I struggle so much with the English.